My name is Rachel Winland, and I'm Bailey Chandler. So our story was Too Many Kangaroo Things to Do by Stuart J. Murphy and illustrated by Kevin O'Malley. So summary of our story is, poor kangaroo is all alone on his birthday. No one will play with him, not the emu, platypuses, the koalas, or even the dingoes. They have too many things to do. What exactly are they doing that makes them so busy? They're using multiplication to figure out how many things they have to do to plan a big surprise birthday party for Kangaroo. The author, Stuart J. Murphy, was born in Rockville, Connecticut. In school, he liked to draw and make up stories. He studied art at Rhode Island School of Design, where he served on the Board of Trustees for 19 years. Murphy is a visual learning specialist and children's book author. He created a Math Start series, and his 63 books were published by HarperCollins. The first four books of the 16 of his I See, I Learn series were published by Charles Bridge. The series focused on social, emotional, health, safety, and cognitive skills. The illustrator, Kevin O'Malley, began drawing as a child with inspiration from Where the Wild Things Are. He has contributed artwork to many books by authors such as Judy Fincher and Michael Tunnell. He has also written his own books such as Lucy Leaf, Little Buggy Runs Away, and Straight to the Bowl. These books feature humor and an upbeat ending. Kevin has illustrated about 54 books and has co-authored multiple others. He also makes school visits to act out the stories and draws out the stories for the students.
The lesson that we created together is anchored to the standards of learning and the Common Core. So for our standards of learning, we focused on grade level 3, where the student will be able to represent multiplication and division through the base 10s, and the student will also be able to create and solve their own single-step practical problems. They will be able to show that they are fluent in this skill, and they will be able to solve single-step problems using whole numbers that are less than 99. And then, based on the Common Core, the students will be able to interpret the products of whole numbers, where they will be able to think about an example such as 5 times 7, which shows that there is a total number of objects in 5 groups with 7 in each group. So the math lesson that we created has an objective for the students to be able to solve practical multiplication problems, which is what is based on our SOL and our Common Core. For the beginning of the lesson, we're going to engage students and activate their prior knowledge by asking them, how do you use math in your own life? Where do you see it? How do you use it? And first, we'll look at the title and do a short picture walk of the book and ask the students, where do you think math will be used in the story? So this helps connect the story and math in their real life together. Then we will go ahead and read the book aloud to our students. Then, after reading the book, we're going to give each student 20 of the manipulatives, which are shown in a picture beside of the 20 interlocking counting cubes. So it's important for students to be hands-on and interacting, especially when they're first learning about how to solve multiplication problems. So the problems are all from the story. There's a total of about 15 of them, and they're going to solve them with their manipulatives. So we even included an example from the story that says the 3 koalas have to each tie 4 ribbons into big bows. So students will write this problem as 3 times 4, and then solve it by taking 3 pink cubes and putting them into groups of 4, or any other color of their choosing. And then they'll be able to count how many cubes they have in total, which would be 12. So students will solve all of their problems, and then for the final assessment, the students will be able to create their own problems with their own animals, and they'll be able to give the problems to their friends to try and solve them too.
So for our global connections, we would have the students locate the country that all these animals live in. The story talks about kangaroos, emus, platypuses, koalas, and dingoes. All 5 of these animals happen to be endangered species, so the global connection would really focus on endangered species. Once the students locate the country and realize that they're all from Australia, we would have them move forward and do another activity. Under investigate, I would actually do this portion first and have them research why the 5 animals are losing their homes. We could guide them with questions such as what is the cause of the animals losing their homes, descriptions of the causes, what are some of the effects, and does it affect anything other than the animal that they are researching. Moving back up to the global understanding and recognizing perspectives, we would have them do a writing assignment where they would choose one of the 5 animals to take the role of, and they would write from that perspective of the animal to the government about deforestation. And deforestation is the main reason why all 5 of these animals are losing their homes in Australia. Moving down to connect and integrate, we would have students compare the animals in Australia with the animals in our state here, which is Virginia, and students could compare how, see if there's any endangered animals here in our home state, compare them to the animals in Australia, how they're different, what their environment is like, why they're endangered here, and what those differences or similarities are. And then for communicating and taking action, students would be separated into 5 different groups, 1 group for each animal listed above. And then they would work together to design an informative poster, which we would display in our school. And the poster would be discussing why they're endangered and what could be done to change that. Here we just have some resources that you could use for the lessons. There's a video link about deforestation, which would explain more as to why these animals are endangered and what's happening to them. The middle graphic is a picture of endangered species all over the world. So this could be to look at different perspectives and compare it to animals all over the world rather than just Australia. And then the last chart just shows different countries with the highest number of endangered species, and then it breaks it up into categories of types of animals. And this is our resource for our book, and also a link to a read aloud that you could do with your class to share the book with them. And thank you for listening.
Okay. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed listening to our wonderful students and all these great ideas that they've come up with to link their global connections and math connections to children's literature, because I definitely think that they did a wonderful job, and it's definitely an oh my for sure. I do want to thank you again for coming. A couple of questions just that I have spotted throughout the activity. Someone, I believe, had asked about sharing the author and illustrator information with the students, if that would be something that we would be doing. And the answer is a big yes, because I think it's important to even get to our students to think about being authors and illustrators themselves, to share that information about these real-world authors, and also to let them see that grown-ups are also interested in global issues. I appreciate all of these comments that have been suggested, and we're going to compile all those and put those together and perhaps integrate these ideas and suggestions into our lessons for the future. So I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. Let's see, I'm looking at Patty, and she said, how did the students pick their books? All right. How did the students pick their books? Anybody want to answer? Okay. The school's library was one place they found the book. Someone was given free books, and the book they selected was one they happened to own. Recommendations from their cooperating teachers that they are currently working with. That was yours, okay? Yeah. All books, and this is something that I've probably drilled into them all semester. Someone has said that all books have global and math connections, so I think she's shooting for even a better grade on this. Let's see. Have they gotten to teach the actual lessons? I don't think they've gotten to teach the global education pieces. I think some may have used the books for some math lessons within their classes. They have used pieces of literature, though, for assignments for problem solving and creating problems for math problem solving within their